So now we're under the bottom of the piano. This is the area where you want to be most concerned with. I've taken what's called the bottom board off the piano just by releasing a small leaf spring up above here. And I always start by looking at the soundboard. This is the soundboard, this wood area here. It encompasses the entire area in back of the piano, and it's what produces the tone of the piano, much like the head on a drum. And what you want to look for is a soundboard that is in good condition, that doesn't have any cracks in it or screws going through it. You don't want to see a distressed area on the soundboard. Earlier we played the piano and we heard that the piano had good tone, which is an indication that the soundboard is also in good condition. There are also instances where soundboards visually do not look good, and yet the piano does have a good sound. And there's nothing wrong with buying a piano if the piano has a good sound, knowing that there may be some issues with the soundboard depending on the instrument. Of course, you want to make sure that you're getting the piano at a fair price. The other things you need to look at, again, are the strings, and you want to make sure that there's no corrosion on the strings, there's no string breaks. You might be able to check either above by the tuning pins or below if there are string breaks. You might see strings that appear to be a different type of coloration, a newer, shinier string, perhaps a string that's constructed in a slightly different manner. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but if there are a lot of string breaks on a piano, that might indicate that there may be more to come. Pianos are built in a similar manner to a guitar or a violin in that the string goes over what's called a bridge, and the bridge is here. This is the bass bridge. There are usually two bridges on pianos. Sometimes there are three. There's also a main bridge that starts all the way low on the piano and goes all the way up to the high part of the piano. So the bridge does just that. It bridges the string, making the string lengths shorter and progressively longer. When the hammer strikes the string vibrates. The vibration is transmitted through the bridge, usually made of hard rock maple, and then it goes into the soundboard, usually made of spruce, and the soundboard vibrates. The vibration is transferred through the air, and that's what you hear as the piano's tone. Next, we also want to look at what's called the trap work. And the trap work, the pedals here, you want to make sure that all the pedals are operating properly. The most important of which is the right pedal, or called the damper pedal. We'll talk more about that later. The damper pedal is the most used pedal. Some people call it the loud pedal or the sustain pedal. The pedal on the left is called the soft pedal, sometimes it's called the una corda pedal, and that brings the hammers closer to the strings on an upright piano, makes it softer. Don't use it that often. The middle pedal functions in different ways depending on which piano you're buying. Sometimes it functions as what's called a Sustenuto pedal, more commonly found on a grand piano. Sometimes it functions as a mute, which makes the piano softer. In this case, this piano's middle pedal functions much like the damper pedal, but only controls the dampers on the lower part of the piano, and again, which we'll get to a little later. We also want to make sure that there are no cracks on the bottom board of the piano. We don't want to find any surprises, like little animals that have made homes in there. Sometimes there are mice that find homes in the piano and leave telltale signs, so you might find some of those. But this particular piano, there's no issues with at all, so that's good. Often pianos can be very dirty inside. If you have a piano at home, you can take the bottom board off and take a vacuum cleaner with a soft brush and vacuum inside. Getting back to the bridge for a moment, in the bridge you have small pins, and that helps guide the strings and keep them secure on the bridge. You want to make sure that there are no cracks in the bridge as well. So here we have a little more of a close-up view of the bridge on the piano, and these are the pins that are inside the bridge, and you want to look at those and just make sure that you don't see any cracks around those, or for that matter, any splits in the bridge itself. So those are some quick things that we can talk about down here, and we'll try to go over some of those again.